The impossible has finally been done. Borderlands 2 has been beaten in under 1 hour. An hour! That is insane! For many years, speedrunners have been trying to break this boundary, and it has finally happened. But how is a time like this even possible? Meet the runner, Deceptix. Deceptix routed out a run that uses all the tricks in the book. You have speed, damage, all the crazy skips, and a lot more. You might notice we're not using a fresh brand new character, because with the current strats you cannot get under 1 hour. In fact, if you look at the speedrun.com leaderboards, we're just under 2 hours for the new game runs. For this speedrun we want to go for the fastest completion time, and the category perfect for that is going to be UVHM geared runs. You can see on the speedrun.com leaderboard that people have been trying to push under 1 hour for quite a few years, but it has been barely out of reach due to the sheer complexity of it. Now let's quickly go over the rules for the run. In Borderlands 2, the key for the fastest speedrun is going to be damage and speed, and a character that has both of those is Salvador. He can literally hold 2 guns. Yeah. Salvador is matched by no other when it comes to a geared UVHM speedrun. For the rule number 1, you can use any legitimate rolled gear that you want, and in this case, we're going to be using 3 major things for this run. The Bada-Boom rocket launchers for rocket jumping, the Norfleet rocket launchers for clearing mobs extremely fast, and the Pimpernow sniper rifle for doing extreme damage with a glitch, so that will take out your bosses and long-range targets. Let's cycle back a little bit. So what exactly is rocket jumping? If you're not familiar, it is a way to launch yourself forward and gain extreme speed. To do this in Borderlands 2, you need low-level Bada-Booms, and when you shoot the floor, you will get a small boost. Now, the reason why it looks like we're not running out of ammo is because we have the sham shield on too. So when we shoot the floor with the Bada-Boom, the rockets are going to be absorbed into the sham, and the sham is going to give us rockets back so we can sustain infinite rockets. Onto the Norfleets. Now, the Norfleets are really good for clearing out mobs extremely fast. All you need to do is shoot in the general direction of the mobs, and they will be wiped out almost instantly. Combine that with the sham shield, you will almost never die with your own damage, and you will also sustain infinite ammo with this too. Finally, let's talk about the Pimpernow Glitch. For whatever reason with Salvador, if you hold the Pimpernow in your left hand, it will do the damage and the element of your right-handed weapon. Remember, we're holding the overpowered Norfleet, so it's going to do Norfleet damage per shot. And that damage will apply to every single pellet the Pimpernow shoots out. For the next rule, your gear must match the game's level. Because this run is done at OP0, that means that the gear must be OP0 too. So you cannot use OP10 gear on an OP0 run. This next rule is mandatory for Borderlands 2 speedrunning, and that is that you cannot use bar bonuses for your run. This will assure that everybody has an even playing field. For the last rule, fully spec skill trees are allowed. In this game, there is a glitch to get infinite skill points, and that can be done by joining somebody in co-op with a laggy game, and inspecting that skill point as soon as you get kicked from the lobby. If you do that right, you can duplicate skill points for infinite skill points. That means you can spec every skill in your skill tree that you want. The time for the run starts at the southern shelf at the first player input, and time ends when you touch the vault key at the Vault of the Warrior. Those are all the major rules you should know about, so obviously out of bounds, glitches, stuff like that are going to be allowed, because the goal of a speedrun is to beat the game as fast as possible. Alright, that should cover the intro, so let's go ahead and jump into the run. Unlike normal mode and TVHM, you don't start all the way back at the beginning in UVHM. In UVHM, this map is pretty straightforward. You're just moving from waypoint A to waypoint B and following Claptrap. There are going to be a lot of required mobbing segments, but the Norfleet takes care of that. Yes, fully spec skill trees and the Norfleets will make the mobbing a lot easier, but this run is very movement heavy. One small mistake during rocket jumping and Deceptix could easily hit a wall or fall off a cliff. That would lose a lot of time. Basically, as soon as the objective is met, Deceptix will go for a save quit and skip the dialogue. In this game, there is quite a bit of dialogue which can be skipped by save quitting, or you can play side mission dialogue over the main story dialogue, and also use the echo devices in your inventory to skip that dialogue too.
Day 2 on Pandora. Nobody here is used to seeing a siren.
Southern Shelf was a race to the end to take on Captain Flint, and the Norfleet was enough to take down him and his minions. Meet the scroll wheel. That is the lovely sound of interacting with something in the game hundreds of times per second. Interacting with objects that fast can break the objective and make it faster, and it's also used to grab objectives on the first possible frame. From here, we'll grab the power core and then head our way to Sanctuary. There is one interesting part in Sanctuary I do want to point out, and that is Jessup. You know, the guy who opens the door. For whatever reason, if you put your game down to 30 FPS, Jessup will open the door right away. If you have more than 30 FPS, he will just look at you and waste quite a few seconds. The reason why this happens is because this game was ported from console to PC, so the game was naturally ran around 30 FPS to make everything work. By having more than 30 FPS at Jessup, his pathfinding will break and that's why he moves a bit slower. As for Sanctuary, this map is waypoint A to waypoint B, so not a whole lot goes on here, and then we're headed off to Frostburn Canyon. Just like all the other games in the series, as soon as the objective pops up for traveling to a different map, you can just save quit and travel straight there. Like, you don't have to run all the way there on foot or in a car. So once the game says, hey, go to Frostburn Canyon, you can just save quit and fast travel your way straight over there. Do keep in mind that this trick only works if you beat the game on this character once, so it only works for TVHM and UVHM. I should also mention that the reason why you see Deceptix drop his gun sometimes is because he's trying to end his Gunzerk. If you're not holding at least 2 guns, your Gunzerk will end. This is so that Gunzerk can cool down while there's nothing going on. For the end of Frostburn, the mobbing is taken care of, and Scroll Wheel is used on Lilith to turn in the mission right away. Without Scroll Wheel, you would have to wait for a lot more dialogue and animations. We don't want that. At the Dust, you can barely snag a Talk to Ellie before the cutscene triggers, and then the 5 car parts are grabbed right after. Bad Maw is deleted from history and the key is grabbed, and our good friend Scroll Wheel will break the objective for the bridge and cause it to come down instantly. Normally you have to wait a few seconds for the bridge to lower. Now for Bloodshot Super Omega Deluxe Extreme Skip. Okay, I might have made the name up, but not the skip. I'll let this skip speak for itself.
You're in? Good. Roland should be around here somewhere. I'm sure you can handle yourself, but if anything happens to Roland, make sure nothing happens to Roland.
No time! Vault Hunter.
Yeah, that was all a Bloodshot in no time at all. Luckily for this map, there is not that many required waypoints, so it makes this skip possible. As for the ramparts, pretty straightforward, go to the end and take out the Warden. Now Warden is a constructor, so Norfleets are not going to be the best damage, so it is time for the first use of the Pimpernow Glitch. As explained earlier, that will take out bosses extremely fast, and then we can proceed our way over to Tundra Express. Just like with Ellie, you can talk to Tina before the cutscene triggers, and that means you can skip waiting for the slow cutscene. From here, we're off to Wilhelm, and Wilhelm's map has a really cool route. Check it out.
Search the train cars. They're probably keeping the vault key in the most fortified one.
Don't worry.
Wilhelm dies with relative ease, and now we can head our way over to the fridge. Just kidding, the fridge isn't required. Yeah, there's no waypoints that say you have to go to the fridge at all, so you can fast travel straight to the outwash. We'll fly through the air like we're a bird, and the Gluttonous Thresher will give us the beacon for Overlook. Overlook is quite interesting. All of the loaders that spawn in this area are optional, and as a failsafe in this game, they actually made a way to complete this faster. If the beacon is broken and repaired 8 times, then the beacon becomes invincible. This was implemented as a way for people to complete this area if they're overwhelmed by the loaders, so yeah, after 8 breaks, it just becomes invincible. Now, what's so important about that? Well, if you save quit, the game is going to feel so bad for you that it just completes the area. Yeah, no mobbing required. Instead of waiting for the loaders to destroy the beacon, Deceptix will use a friendly fire glitch in the game. Basically, with the sword explosion, if you shoot this weapon and drop it before the bullets land, it will do friendly fire damage. That means this can be used to break the beacon 8 times, and then proceed to repair it 8 times. After that, we go for a save quit, and that completes the area. The next map is Wildlife, and I don't even know what to say. The way you think you go is not the way Deceptix takes. Required objectives are weird in this map, so there is going to be a lot of out of bounds, and this map is over in the blink of an eye. As for the Bloodwing fight, Pimpernow, do I need to say more? 1000 Cuts is just a bunch of required mobbing, so we keep an eye on the minimap and just click the button when the red dots pop up. In this map though, clever save quits are used to skip Brick forward, because waiting for Brick to run over to the beacons is quite slow. Opportunity is just kill the body double and then click the 4 buttons, and this is done with really cool rocket jumps around the map. Now we're off to take on the bunker, and along the way there are going to be 2 required constructors you have to kill, so we'll rocket jump skip past the first barrier and then kill the first one, and then the second one dies before it knows what hit him. Bunker's turrets are all sniped with the Pimpernow, and as for Bunker, yeah, kinda dead. Bunker couldn't even fly over to the stage. At this point there is a flawless out of bounds getting the dunk down to Control Core Angel, and Control Core is not a whole lot except a bunch of mobbing. Luckily though, using these side missions and the echo devices in our inventory, we can skip most of the dialogue, causing the enemies to spawn in faster. Get down from there, you're gonna hurt yourself. Now we're off to Iradian Blights, which is a driving simulator. But the only thing to do here is hit the required waypoint, and then we can proceed on to Sawtooth. Sawtooth is a pretty interesting map because you can skip straight over to the elevator, so enjoy this little skip now.
Where Sawtooth ends are keeping the bombs. You gotta go through one over. I will pay you to kill yourself. I've got a perfect spot all picked. My slams have been fighting the Sawtooth.
After killing the 4 ambush commanders, you're off to the Boombringer, and now it's time to head up to the Buzzard's Nest and take on the 5 buzzards. Pimpernow! Time to head off to the Aeronexus Boneyard, and Deceptix does use a pretty nice car warp to get over to the second pump station, and that's going to make it faster than rocket jumping over. For the Badlands, there's not a whole lot required here except for hitting the button near the Saturn spawn, and then jumping to the top to get the warrior's location. We're back to Iradian Blights to do a bit of mobbing in front of the Heroes Pass door, and this mobbing is done extremely well by sniping these surveyors out the air. Now for Heroes Pass. Don't blink, guys. Check it out.
Feel that, child killer? He's nearly charged. This world is gonna end.
Yeah, that was clean. All that's left is to take out Jack and the Warrior. Obviously, they're going to be defeated very, very fast. Deceptix will flip off Jack while waiting for his invincibility frames to end, and then he will poke him and complete the run. Final time, 53 minutes and 55 seconds. Under an hour. That is insane. Now, I do want to say that this video did not show off every cool thing that happened in the run, so I highly recommend you guys check out the full run in the description below. Also, if you are a fan of seeing cool skips and speedruns for the Borderlands games, then be sure to drop Deceptix a sub too. Anyways, that's going to be Borderlands 2 in under an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, if you did, then please be sure to leave a like, because that'd be awesome. And if you want to see more of this content, be sure to sub. You guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Peace out.